This video is going to show you how you can use a crosstab in Tableau and also make a bar chart and a line chart from that crosstab. So remember, we use a crosstab whenever we want to study how two categorical variables are related to each other. So let's go back to the defaulting customer data. We had two categorical variables, actually more than that, but we're going to use two for this example. The first one is the payment type. So when people join this health club, they pay with one of four types. The other variable is default. So default takes value 1 whenever the customer had defaulted, 0 otherwise. Now this is really important. Right now, we have default as a measure. So it's treating this as a numeric variable. What I'm going to do is bring this up to dimension so that it's now a dimension and Tableau will know that this is a categorical variable. Okay, so let's make a crosstab. So it's really quite easy. Let's start out with payment type, and I'm going to drop it on the vertical axis, and you're going to see that by default, if you just drop it in the row place, it's going to give us a table. Now the entries of that table are blank at this point. What do we want in them? Well, let's go put the number of records there. So I'm just going to go drag that. This is the number of records. And so now we know the number of people who paid with each of these four types. Now, let's go grab default. I guess it's up here. And again, it has to be a dimension. Otherwise, it's not going to work out right. And we're just going to go drag that into the columns. And what you'll see is we now have a crosstab of the two variables. We know, for example, there were 1,897 people who defaulted and were using the book method. Well, these counts are nice, but what we would really like are percents. So let's go get the percents, because that's going to give us the default rates, like the percentage who defaulted. So to do that, we're going to go over to this number of records, and we're going to go down to measure. And we're going to change this. Hold on, wrong one. Quick table calculation. So go down to quick table calculation and put the percent of the total. So this is going to be the percent of the row total. And so what this is saying is that 24%, and you can see it in the hint here, it's the percent going across. So 24% of the book people defaulted, 76% did not default. Okay. We go look at checking, and you're going to see about 1% defaulted, whereas 99% did not. One more thing, I wouldn't mind seeing the actual number of records. So if you want to see that too, you could just go grab this and drop it in the middle. And now you have additional rows. It starts to look kind of like what you get with SPSS, where it gives you the observed counts and the row percents. Okay. So that's how we can make a crosstab in Tableau. It's really quite easy. Let's say we wanted to make a graph. So we don't want to just have this as a table. To make a graph, the way I do this is I'm going to bring default back down to the measure box. Okay, so we want this to be a measure because I want to be able to compute the mean of it. And then let's see. I'm going to go put the payment type variable. Let's put it in the columns. And then what I'm going to do is go grab default, and we're going to go drop this into the rows. And you'll see immediately you get a bar chart, but it's not the bar chart that you really want. I mean, it's not bad. What this is showing, it's the sum of default. So if you think about the sum of a bunch of 0, 1 variables, it's going to give the number of customers who defaulted. So here's the number who defaulted. So we had 1,897. Go back to the previous sheet and you're going to see that matches that number exactly because we're just adding up a bunch of ones. What we really want, though, is the mean. So I'm going to go change that sum to a mean. All right, so this is a really good trick to know about. And now, instead of having a count of the number of people who defaulted, this is giving us the percentage. So that's actually 24% of the people who paid with book defaulted, and you got 16% of the people with statement who defaulted, you're going to see those numbers match up exactly with what we had on our crosstab. 1% and roughly 2% are the other two numbers, so here's your 1%, here's your 2%. Now, in Tableau, this is so easy to change this into different formats. So, for example, what if I wanted to make this a line graph instead of a bar graph? Well, just go up to the marks and change it to line. And so it's real easy to try different things and see which one you like the best. Okay, that's it for making crosstabs and then making bar graphs or line graphs from that.